is Zan. I'm going to attempt to do my fourth attempt, that is, at a video. I got this new Moto camera, and I'm having trouble recording longer than 1 minute. The other thing is, I'm hoping this is not going to be upside down or sideways. So we'll see. What I am reviewing today is the Dina Wakely, I think I'm saying that right, Mixed Media journal. And I think anybody who does mixed media is really going to enjoy this. If you are strictly a watercolor or a painter, this may not be your favorite journal. So first of all, I want to show you it is hardcover, both front and back. Wonderful black, very heavy. I think I will go ahead and paint this or alter it in some way when I am done. This has 4 different kinds of paper. I'm going to say this beautiful craft paper. I think you're going to like that. It's got a nice, all these pages are really nice and sturdy and heavy for attaching things to. The other is a watercolor paper. However, this is not your standard watercolor paper. It is not smooth. It is very absorbent. So a wet on wet technique doesn't exactly work really well. It does take paint very well, but you cannot push the color around because it absorbs really quickly. The next is this burlap, which is different. I've never seen a journal with any burlap in it, so I'm very excited to see what I can do with it. And then the last, let me find it right here, is a canvas material. I think I'm off screen. There we go. It's a canvas material. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few things that I've learned in playing around. Okay, hopefully this is not upside down. I can't really tell on this screen. So what I did, this very first page in the book is that really absorbent watercolor paper again. Okay, so what I did, I've done about 4 different layers of watercolor gelatos. This last one was some acrylics. This is not done. I just wanted to see how this paper held up with all the layers, and it seems to be doing very well. Okay, this same paper again is a watercolor. Now what I have here is this wet technique. These are acrylics, but I decided to wet them down to see if I could push them around. And as you can see, they did not push around. It did not drip really well. This is the straight color. And as you can see, while I'm not getting much of a push around here, the colors are very, very vibrant. So what I'm noticing is applying gesso to the page makes it a little better to work with. Like I said, this is not strictly a painting journal. This is, if you like to cut, glue, attach things, this journal is for you. Okay, this is what I've done. The burlap here was a little out of my league. I had a really hard time with it. Never really worked with it in a journal. I want to get one of those handheld sewing machines because I think it would be so much fun on the canvas and the journal to be able to sew. And I'm not, with my RA, it's really hard to hold a needle to do some stitching, but it still could be fun. I did manage to use, I used like a plastic behind my page like this, and I managed to glue on some papers. Got these from Robin, and the picture, Robin as well. This, I went out to eat, and it's kind of got it's a label from a beer, so I thought I'd grab that. So anyways, I did some stapling on there, some gesso, attached it with this little clip that somebody made me, paper clip type thing. So I burned the edges as well. And the one thing, some of you, if your OCD is really bad, and occasionally mine kicks in, the fraying on here, it is supposed to happen. It just makes the album look so much more, gives it so much more character. But occasionally I have an issue with all of these strings hanging, so I'm going to have to get over that. Okay, this was another of the watercolor pages, and I just attached a whole bunch of papers to it using Mod Podge. As you can see, look, take a look at this. This is really, there's no flimsiness. There's some weight to this. So that's going to be fun to work with, and then I can distress right on top of that. The one thing I want to note about the canvas, this is a canvas page. As you can see, the canvas and then this watercolor. There's more of this watercolor than anything. They take the sprays. These are, I think these were the, I forget which kind it is, Glimmer Mist, I believe. And because it absorbs, all these surfaces absorb really fast, you don't get a lot of bleed through. So it is really great for stencils. So, but on the canvas, I did gesso this canvas piece. Now, do you see this here? Because this is an unstretched canvas in here, it is going to shrink. So that's what it has done. It has shrunk quite a bit, but it allows you to do a couple things with it. I'm going to show you. Here, I gessoed it, and then I just cut the edge. So it's kind of got a little peekaboo effect there into the next page. So like I said, I'm just playing around with these textures. So here's the same Glimmer Mist on both the canvas, and I did on the ungessoed canvas on this side, and this watercolor paper. So I can't wait to play with that. Again, this is and I gessoed the canvas, and I used those gelatos, I believe that's what that was. So here's the burlap, and I decided I was going to try to gesso it. The gesso does not spread really well. It does go through, so you have to have that, you have to have a protective behind it. So just trying different things. Nothing spreads really well, but I'm thinking, I think I have a spray gesso that may work here. We'll have to see. This is, what paper is this? This is that watercolor paper. I glued on a napkin. And I was thinking about my friend Shar when I found somebody sent this to me. All of this is Happy Mail, so you may recognize it. So Shar, that's for you. Lisa, I believe, sent me the Fairy ATC. So I was again working with trying to figure out how heavy I could get this, how much could I attach to these pages, and quite a bit, obviously. So, and then here's this craft paper. Now, those who love colored pencils, this craft paper is amazing for colored pencils. I use my Prismacolor pencils, and everything just really shows up well. It does, you are able to smear it. I don't know if you can see that that's smearing there. But on this craft paper, this is the only paper that is entirely smooth. So I have not tried watercolors on this yet. So I'm thinking the watercolor is going to work much better on this craft paper. Here's another burlap, and all I did was attach another started piece I did. Oh, here's this watercolor paper. Sorry, I had a brain freeze there. And this is acrylic. So what I did, I kind of gessoed the first. I'm finding I get a much smoother effect with the gesso, and then I just painted some cats, which I don't like cats, but okay, this is the watercolor paper, and like I was telling you, I did try the watercolor wash, and it almost, can you tell the texture of this? It almost looks like paper towel or canvas texture. This was the wash I tried to make a sky, and then the flowers, I ended up I put gesso over the bottom part of this, because it just did not turn out the way I wanted to. So watercolors is probably not something I'm going to use a whole lot in here. So, and that's what I've done so far. That's some tips and tricks. So if you have this album, I'd love to see what you have done with it, because I think, because I am such a mixed media nut, I think I'm going to love it. The only thing I can think of already, because there's not any given this, so I think I'm going to end up with a really fat album unless I take one of these signatures out to give me a little bit extra room. I think this spine could have been a little wider in order to accommodate in this mixed media everything that's going to be added, because you can see I've only done a handful of pages and it's already not shutting very well. Anyways, if you have this mixed media journal, I'd love to see what you did. Take care. Bye-bye.